the title of this chapter is Renunciation of Action, Karma Sannyasa Yoga. That is the title of this chapter. If you go to the end of this chapter, at the end of the fourth chapter, there is a couple of concluding statement. At the end of every chapter, there is a concluding statement, just one or two lines. You can read that concluding chapter at the end of the 42nd verse. It says, "Iti jnana karma sannyasa yoga jnana karma sannyasa yogo nama chaturthodhyaya." Jnana karma sannyasa, that is the main topic of this fourth chapter. What does it mean? Karma means all actions that we do, and also the result of those actions. Every action brings some reaction, some result. Usually they bring two kinds of outcome. If I do some action, it produces an external visible reaction which we feel almost immediately or within a short time. In addition to that, an unseen result also comes. That unseen result we are not able to see because it takes the form of impressions formed in our minds when we do some action. So when we do any action, by thought, word or deed, through these three instruments, when we do some action, all these actions produce two kinds of results. One is the external visible result, which we can see quickly. The other one is an invisible, subtle result, which takes the form of impressions in our minds. So let us take an example. Supposing you scold somebody, you become angry. Nowadays, nobody becomes angry in this class because we have all given up anger completely by reading that book, Overcoming Anger. But other people, those who become if somebody becomes angry and scolds somebody, then the other person also becomes angry and he also scolds back. So this escalates and he becomes more angry. So there is escalation of this conflict. So where it will end, how we cannot predict, because when anger comes, we lose control. Supposing somebody say, "Hey, tu gada hai," he will say, "Tu mujhe gada bulata hai, tu bhi gada hai, tumhara baap bhi gada hai." He will say like that. You can see this kind of argument. Somebody says, "You are a donkey, you are a fool." That man says, "You call me a fool, you are a fool, your father is also a fool, I will slap you if you call me a fool again." He will say like that. So that is the external result. Right away you feel. He will not, there will be no delay in that person becoming angry. If you scold him, he will scold you back right away. There is no delay there. You will not think, should I scold him back or not? Right away reaction will come. Swiftly reaction will come. That is the visible result. Now, that does not end there. The visible result you feel right away. There is an invisible result of your becoming anger. The action of your becoming anger leaves a scar, an impression on your mind. The tendency to become angry again is strengthened. The more we do certain action again and again, the stronger the tendency to repeat that action will become. The tendency, that is the impression, is left in our minds. I became angry, one impression is added. Then tomorrow I am more likely to become angry, because I already become angry today. So when I become angry tomorrow, another impression is created, and this impression gather momentum, they become stronger. And the sum total of all these impressions that we have been adding to our mind for a very long time, that totality of all those impressions defines our character, our personality. This is a very important conclusion of Vedanta. What we are, each one of us, what we are today at this moment, any one person if you take, like me or any one of us, what I am today at this moment, happy or unhappy, healthy or unhealthy, or sick or wise or unwise or foolish, educated, uneducated, rich or poor, whatever I am, at this moment, whatever I am, is the result of all the actions in the form of thoughts, words and deeds that I have done so far, all the accumulated impressions which I have myself accumulated. Nobody else did it for me. I became angry, I scolded, I was scolded. All those impressions that I have been myself putting into my mind for a very long time, that is the personality that I am today. That's what I am today. Now the good news is, because I myself sculpted my present personality to be what it is today at this moment, I also have the freedom to change my personality by changing my present actions. So that is the thing that we have to hold on to. What is the conclusion? What is the use of this theory? What is the benefit of knowing this one? This is the benefit. We have the destiny, our destiny in our hands. We are the architects of our own destiny. We can't blame anybody else. If I am unhappy today, if I have some problems, I can't blame anybody else. So I like to put blame on somebody. No, it squarely rests on my shoulders. Others may be just playing their part as delivery instruments, as outlets or instruments, but because He is here, nothing good or bad happens to us. Really, nothing good or bad happens to us, except as we have courted it, we have paved the way for it ourselves. That is the current conclusion. That, therefore, the responsibility for our future, what I will become, what I want to become, is now in my hands. Just as my present is accounted for by the past, my present accounts for the future. What I do now, I have some freedom. I can't completely take, supposing I decide today I want to become and be a basketball player. No, it won't happen. It's not possible. Some things are beyond our reach. There are limits to what we can achieve. But within that limits, we have freedom. We can improve, we can become better persons by doing right actions now, right thoughts, right kind of thinking, right kind of speech, right kind of action. How to know what is right, what is wrong at all these three levels. What kind of thoughts I should think, what kind of speech I should say, what kind of actions I should do. That if I know that one, then I have the key to my future in my own hands. I can build my future. I'm the architect of my future, as I have been the architect of my present. So that is the important practical implication of this knowledge of karma. Now my question is, we therefore have to do right. We should think only right thoughts, not harmful thoughts. We should say only nice speech, not harmful speech. And we should do right actions. How do we know what is right, what is wrong? Is there any clue in the Gita as to what is right thought, right action, right speech? In the 17th chapter of the Gita, there are 3 verses, 14, 15, 16 in the 17th chapter. 14th verse says, Shariram tapaha, what kind of bodily actions we should do and what kind of actions we should not do. That is all said. 5 instructions are given in the 14th verse of 17th chapter. Regarding actions we have to do, right actions. 15th verse in the 17th chapter gives 5 more instructions on what kind of speech I should say. Anytime I speak, open my mouth and say something, I should make sure that what I am going to say does not cause any offense, embarrassment, insult or difficulty or harm to other people. If I hurt somebody by my unwise speech, then that will come back to me. The impression is created. So if I call somebody fool, you will call me also fool. So then I am giving rise to this escalation. I don't want it. So all those instructions are given in the 15th verse of 17th chapter. 5 instructions regarding right speech, right actions, right speech and right thought. 5 more instructions about what kind of thoughts I should harbor in my mind that are helpful, what kind of harmful thoughts I should not harbor in my mind. Those are given. 5 more instructions are given in the 16th verse of the 17th chapter. 14, 15, 16, 3 verses, 5, 5, 5, 15 instructions. You study them in detail in your own time. Then you will become masters of your own destiny. You don't have to blame somebody for problems, and will be making sure that your future is all bright and glorious and wonderful. That is in our hands. This I'm not making it up. It is proven fact. It is in our hands. What we are today is a result of what we have made ourselves until this point in time. Therefore, what we want to be in the future is in our hands. There is a very small book. I unfortunately forgot the name of the author, Western author. It says, "As we may think." That's the title of the book. As we may think. That's the title. Small booklet. I read it many years ago. Now, some more books are coming along the same lines. It says the same thing, exactly the same thing. What you think today is what you will become tomorrow. Today's thoughts are the building blocks for the future of my life. Therefore, everything starts at the thought level. What is in my mind will come out as speech, and what comes out as speech also translates into action. So the three instruments we have to harmonize them and make them always engage in good thoughts. Good thoughts in the mind, good speech in the mouth, and good actions in the body. That is the implication of this chapter. One of the lessons we have to draw from this chapter. Now, in the earlier chapters, second and third chapters, Sri Krishna had been emphasizing the importance of engaging in action, doing one's duties. Again and again he said, do your duty. Do your duty. Don't abstain from doing your duty. He was saying like that. Now in this chapter, the title itself says, Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. Karma Sannyasa means giving up action. Now the question arises, how can I give up action? I can't. Physically it is an impossibility to give up actions. Can you give up all actions? We tried that. No, we can't. We cannot refrain from doing action even for a short period of time. That is not only proven by experience, it is also known from our own experience. It says, Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jadu tishtati akarmakrit. Sri Krishna said that. Kshanamapi, even for a moment, akarmakrit, without performing any action, nahi kaschit jadu tishtati. No one can succeed in remaining completely actionless even for a short period of time. There are always doing some action. If not by body, by speech. If not by speech, in mind. Something is going on. Even in sleep, mind is active during the dream state. Now he says, karma sannyasa, give up action. How to give up action? Not in a physical sense. In a physical sense, you cannot give up action. It's an impossibility. Because we have to breathe, we have to walk, we have to talk, we have to eat. Those are actions. So we cannot give up actions in a physical sense. Then how can we give up actions? He says, jnana sannyasa. By the power of knowledge, we can give up two things. Not physical actions we cannot give up. We have to give up two other things. First thing is we have to give up the erroneous notion that we are the doers of action. If I think I am the body and the mind, then I am the doer of action, because all actions happen at the body-mind level only. But the truth is, I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am the divine self within. Then from the divine self perspective, there is no action. So if we transfer our identity from the physical part of our personality, which is temporary, perishable, to the spiritual part of our personality, which is permanent and everlasting, then there is no action here. Then you have risen above the domain of action altogether. You are not bound by action. That is the method Sri Krishna is going to give in this and the next chapter. He makes it even clearer in the 5th chapter. We will come to that shortly. Now the second thing we have to give up is, we have to give up our attachment to the fruits of action. Karma phala sannyasa. Karma sannyasa detachment from action. Karma phala sannyasa, giving up attachment to the fruits of action. Phala means fruit. Now one other thing, hint practically, Sri Krishna is going to give later in the very end, in the 18th chapter, 2nd verse, 18th chapter, 2nd verse, Sri Krishna is going to say, before we do any of these things, one of the first things we have to do is to stop doing selfish actions. Actions motivated by selfish desires. Then what actions we have to do? Unselfish actions we have to continue to do. First instruction. We will go step by step. That is like the very first basic instruction, applicable to every one of us. Now most of the time we are motivated by selfish desires for our actions. If I want to do something, there is a personal reason behind it. I have an agenda for my own life. I want to gain this, therefore I am going to do this. That is how I think. Now that may not be always clearly articulated, but it is built into us. Now we have to revise that, we have to take stock of that. Whenever I feel like doing some action, I should ask myself, why am I going to do this action? What benefit will it bring to me and to other people, animals, plants, things, and whole of nature? If that action that I am contemplating is going to benefit other beings besides me alone, then it is better unselfish action. If it is designed to benefit me alone and alone, nobody else, just for my own sake, then it is, we have to think about it. It becomes selfish action. So we have to do only those actions which will benefit other beings. In that I am also included. I don't have to exclude myself from the list of beneficiaries. If it benefits the whole class, it benefits me because I am part of the class. We are doing this Gita class now. Now, this should benefit all of us and other people who are not here also. How does it benefit other people who are not here? Because if you get some ideas from this class, if you go home and if you show some change in your attitude, in your action, then but that benefits your family members, the people who work with you in the workplace. So like this, the benefit has percolated not only to those who are present here, but to other people who are not present here. It has that effect of spreading itself wider to wider and wider circles. Therefore, we should place all our actions in the largest possible frame of reference. That is mentioned in the 2nd verse of the 18th chapter. Kamyanam karmanam nyasam sanyasam kavayo viduhu. Then sarva karma palatyagam tyagam brahur vichakshana. Second line of the 2nd verse, 18th chapter. Sri Krishna says, whenever you do any action, unselfish action, we have to do. Selfish action we should not do. Even when you do unselfish action, we should not be attached to the fruits of our action. May it benefit all the beings. That should be my motivation. I do some work. May good happen from this work. To whomever, wherever, whenever, whatever. Even inanimate objects, even to nature. May there be peace everywhere as a result of this action. May there be improvement everywhere as a result of this action. It may be very small, humble action. We cannot do earth-shaking things, all of us. We do small things. But in a small way, if we contribute, then sum total will be very significant. This is what all the great souls, all the great saints of all cultures have been doing. If you examine the life of any saint, of any culture, they were doing every word they spoke, every action they did, everything that they thought was in the interest of the whole of creation. They did not say only this person must benefit from my thought, from my action, others I don't want them to benefit. They didn't have that limited idea. They did all their actions in the widest possible frame of reference. That is what sets apart a saintly person from a selfish person. We don't want to remain selfish people. We are not selfish now, but we want to give up any trace of selfishness that may be in our personality hidden somewhere. We want to become unselfish. Why this emphasis on unselfishness? Because it is the selfishness in my personality that separates me from God. What prevents me from seeing God who is present within me? All scriptures are saying God is present within you. Now we don't know that from experience. We only heard about it, read about it. Now how can I become aware of the presence of God within me? And why am I not able to see God if He is present now? Those are my two questions. Now the first answer to the second question is, the reason why I am unable to, at the present time, feel the presence of God within me is the obstruction that my mind itself has erected. My mind contains some impurities such as kama, krodha, etc. We are familiar with that one. Anger, jealousy, pride, delusion, and arrogance, and fear, and hatred, all these things we have. Those make the mind opaque, and we cannot see the presence of God present within me. Tasmat parang pashyati nantaratman. That is one reason. The second question is, how can I become aware of the presence? This only explains why I am not aware of God's presence now. The second question is, how can I become aware of God's presence and experience His presence? That's what I want to do. The answer is also given to that one. The answer says, purify the mind by any means whatsoever available to you, consistent with your nature, temperament, abilities, etc. And then you will succeed in seeing. Then the lens become clear. Cataract is removed, clear lens is implanted, and then you will see the presence of God right away. Then we realize it was already there, I was simply not aware of it, that is all. God is not absent now, but we are simply unable to feel His presence because of these obstructions in my mind. Once I succeed in clearing the obstructions from my mind, then His presence, we will become aware of His presence. Then we realize that He was already there, I was simply not aware of it. That is called realization. We realized that His presence was already there, it was the given fact. That for that reason we have to give up selfish actions. Selfish actions create all the impurities in the mind. Selfishness, greed, etc. There is a small book which I have referred to many times, written by Swami Vivekananda. What is it called? Karma Yoga. He wrote several books. This book is called Karma Yoga. Small book, about 100 pages or so. Small size book. In that book, Swamiji has written one short sentence. Swami Vivekananda has written one short sentence containing only 3 words, easy to remember. And that short sentence can be considered as a modern Mahavakya. Mahavakya means a great sentence. You see 4 Mahavakyas in the Upanishads. What is that sentence? Unselfishness is God. My producer is telling me in my ear. Unselfishness is God. The same things keep coming. I can't create any new information on Vedanta. I am simply repeating what is already there, what has already been there for thousands of years. Unselfishness is God. That means the more unselfish we become in our thoughts, actions, and speech, that much closer we approach God. The more selfish we become, that much away separation happens from God. So the first instruction that Sri Krishna has given in the Gita, 18th chapter, 2nd verse, is try to give up all selfish actions motivated by purely selfish desires. That's not as difficult to do as it might appear at first time. We just enlarge the scope of our work, that's all. Let it benefit me, but let it benefit that person also. Then I become a little bit less selfish. If I do some action just for me, then I become selfish. But if I include you in the list of beneficiaries, I'm doing this action, let it benefit me. I don't want to exclude myself. I want to get the benefit. But I also want other people to get the benefit from this action. So I'm expanding the scope of my action, then I'm becoming, to that extent, less selfish. To that extent, I'm approaching God and become closer to God. It's not all that difficult. We just have to make some adjustments in our thinking. All actions need not change at all. We continue to do same actions. You have to go to work in the same place where you went to work yesterday and last month. That doesn't change. You have to do same kind of work. People who work at home, they have to do same kind of cooking, cleaning, laundry, driving children. They have to do. Mothers have to do. That may not change. But the attitude with which it is done will change. First instruction. Second instruction is giving up attachment to the action itself. How to do that one? That's a little bit more difficult than the first one. That is explained in this chapter and more clearly in the next chapter, in the 5th chapter. We have to give up not the action itself, but the notion, erroneous notion that I am the doer of the action, which I had been harboring all these years in my mind. Who is the doer of action? The next question. That you will probe that question a little bit more detail a little bit later. But right now he says, give up the erroneous notion that you are the doer of action. We will examine that in detail shortly. The third thing that we have to give up is our undue attachment to the fruits of our action. Let this action, when this action produces some benefit, some fruit, some result, may it benefit everybody. More or less same as the first one. So 3 instructions we carry from this chapter. Now with this summary of this chapter, let us study 3 or 4 significant verses from the remaining part of this chapter. Then we go to chapter 5. So we'll go next to this 22, 23. Those 2 verses we'll do. Chapter 4. Yadrichālābhasantuṣṭo dvandvātīto vimatsaraha samasiddhāvasiddhau ca kritvāpi na nibadyate. There are about 3 points given in this shloka. Instructions are given. How to become free from the erroneous notion that I am the doer of any action. In small steps, Sri Krishna takes us towards that goal. Here he says, Yadrichālābhasantuṣṭah, content with what comes to him without effort. And that has to be probably, it can be misunderstood. We have to put in effort, but we should not have hankering for certain things, which we are going to see again in the 5th chapter. Hankering for selfish desires, so I want to become richer, I want to become more famous, I want to become more influential, I want to have that president's position. This kind of selfish desire, unless there is a much more broader unselfish motivation behind it, they are binding. Those kinds of desires we should give up. Yadrichālābhasantuṣṭo dvandvātītaha, free from the pairs of opposites. When we do some action, we may succeed, we may fail. Some people may blame us, some people may praise us. That is very common experience in daily life. You do some action, some people appreciate you for doing that one. Oh, you did the right thing. Some people will blame you for, why did she do that one? They will talk like that and you will back. Same action. You can't please everybody all the time. So that is dvandva. Dvandva means praise and blame, success and failure, happiness and happiness, pain and pleasure, loss and gain. These, like the pendulum bob, our mind oscillates between these 2 extremes. We have to remain unaffected by those 2, and then we have to make our mind remain calm and still, as much as possible, in the mean position, free from this oscillation. Let people blame. Some people are going to blame no matter what you do or what you don't do. Or let people praise. Some people are going to praise you because they like you no matter what you do or don't. But I don't want to be affected by this. I don't want to be swayed from this end to this extreme to that extreme, and then I have no peace of mind. I want to remain unaffected by praise and blame, by loss or gain. No matter what you do, you gain something, you lose something. There is always loss involved in any action. That we will see in the 18th chapter. Therefore, remaining unaffected by these extremes in our moods and what other people say and think, I want to remain calm and unperturbed regardless of anything else, in the main position. That is Dvandvatita. Earlier in 2nd chapter, Sri Krishna says, Dvandvatita, Mistraigunya Bhava Dvandvatita. Vimatsaraha, free from jealousy, free from envy or jealousy. Jealousy is a very negative emotion. Somebody has more of something than I have, then I become jealous of that person. Or if I have something more of than what other person has, then I become proud. Pride and jealousy are two sides of the same coin. Supposing I have more money than you have, then I am very proud. Oh, I am richer than you. Supposing you have more money than I have, then I become jealous of he has more money than I don't have as much money. I want to make more money than he has. He has that jealousy. Jealousy and pride, they are inseparable, two sides of the same coin. So we should not give room to that. Dvandvatito vimatsaraha. Samasiddhau asiddhau cha. Siddhi means success, asiddhi means absence of success or failure. When we do some action, we did this analysis in detail earlier in the 2nd chapter. When we do some action, sometimes we succeed, sometimes we fail. We win some, we lose some. We cannot accurately predict in every case whether we are going to win or lose, because besides our effort, other factors come into play and muddy up the whole situation. The result becomes unpredictable, beyond our control. It's not just what I do, but other factors which are beyond my control, they enter the equation and then they alter the whole situation. The result is something totally unpredictable. When you thought you will fail, you may succeed. When you thought you succeed, you may fail. Because that success or failure was in that case not caused by you. It can be ascribed to other factors which you didn't know or could not control, even if you knew. To take this case of 2 examples we will take. When you treat a patient as a physician, you do the best treatment that you know. You're using your professional judgment, available technology, assistance, everything. Best treatment. No physician wants his patient not to recover. He wants every patient to recover and go back healthy. But do all the patients recover and go back healthy? You don't know. Some will recover sooner than you thought. Some will recover just as you predicted, and some may not recover. You will be disappointed. Which happens when no physician can predict in advance with any degree of accuracy. So everybody strives for success. Success is not guaranteed. Why that uncertainty in success? That is because the recovery of the patient is not entirely the result of what the doctor does. What the patient brings to that situation also makes a difference. Supposing you are an emergency room physician, you are ER physician. Then a patient is brought, trauma case comes, and that person is not conscious. Or even if he is conscious, he is drunk or he has a gunshot wound or a stab wound and he is unable to coherently speak. You ask his name, he doesn't know his name, forget his name. You ask who is his physician, he doesn't have a physician or he does not know, does not remember his name. You ask him what medication you are taking, he does not know or he cannot speak. Then what will you do? You don't have the full information. You use your best judgment and hope for the best. So what that patient brings to that situation also affects the outcome of your treatment. Your treatment may be the best, but it's not just what you do, what other people bring to the work situation. That also alters the situation, alters the outcome. Therefore, we have to do our best under all the working situation. With all the constraints and limitations, we do what is possible, what is best. And then result, we'll keep it open. We'll keep our mind open. If it succeeds, we are happy. If it does not succeed, then failure is not attributable to what any shortcoming on your part. Failure is attributable to factors beyond your control. Then you have to remain calm. That is what it says. Samasiddha vasiddhau cha. One example. Second example, more common. in bringing up children in a family situation. Supposing a set of parents have 3 children. You provide the same loving environment to all the 3 children. You bring them up with great love, provide education, health care, and love and everything, whatever you are doing for all the 3 children. But how they will turn out when they grow up, is it entirely up to you? You cannot be the architect of their lives. How they grow up when they grow up depends not only on what you put into their upbringing, but what they bring, what the script they bring to play out in this life. Every child, when it enters this world, comes already equipped with a script to be played out in this life. That child's life has to go on according to this. And your input is also there. It also makes a difference. But the final outcome is not entirely up to the parents. It also is a part of, is dictated by what the child brings into its life. So then how much control do you have? If a child succeeds, you are happy. If it does not succeed in spite of your best effort, you say, I have done my best. So that is the situation. Therefore, the lesson is, the instruction is, samasiddha cha, remaining equanimous in success and failure after doing our best. We should not cut short our effort. Because this is unpredictable outcome, because the outcome is unpredictable, I should not cut short my effort. I will do my best. On top of that, what happens is not up to me, it is some other force. What other people bring to bear into that work situation. Then I have no control over that. You have done your best. That's all that you are expected to do. No one is in charge of the final result for anything that day. Because there are always other factors that play a part in shaping the outcome of our work. In any field of human endeavor, it is in the matter of personal health, you do exercise, you take the right kind of food, you don't overeat, you eat at the right time, you get enough sleep, and you do follow all the health rules, but still is there any guarantee that you won't become sick? We don't know. Therefore, samasiddha vasiddhau cha, doing our best under the circumstances, and remaining calm and calmly accepting the outcome, whether you like it or not. That came in the 2nd chapter. Which sloka? 48th verse. Yogastra kuru karmani sangam tyaktva dhananjaya siddhya siddhyo samo bhutva. See, same thing. Siddhya siddhyo samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. 2nd chapter, 48th verse. If you master that one verse, if you really understand, most of our work is done. The rest of the Gita is all elaboration, corroboration, and explanation, and amplification. 2nd chapter, 48th verse is the key shloka. Hold on to one shloka and follow it assiduously, and much of our work is already done. We don't have to read all the 700 shlokas. So we are not going to read all the 42 shlokas in the 4th chapter. You will see only some of them. 2nd chapter, 48. Samasiddha. Here it says samasiddha vasiddho cha. There it says siddhya siddhyo samo bhutva. Siddhi means success, asiddhi means failure. Sama means equal, remaining equanimous in success and failure after doing your best. That's our part. Doing our best is our part. The result is not up to us. That's what he said in the previous verse, 47th verse, 2nd chapter. Karmani eva te adhikaraha ma phaleshu te adhikaraha. You have jurisdiction and control in regard to the work that you do. In regard to the outcome of the work, you don't have any power to dictate what it should be, because other factors come into play in shaping the outcome of the work. Very basic principle. Upon this, the whole karma yoga, karma theory is built. That is how you become free from the consequences of your action. Kritvapi, karma kritvapi. Even if you do the action, with this attitude, if you do the action, nanibadhyate, you are not bound. That means no new impressions are created. You pave the way for salvation. That is the important slogan. 22nd shloka. Yadrichalabasantushto dvandvatito vimatsaraha samastidhavasiddhavacha kritva pinanibhadyate. We go to 23. Same idea continues. How to become free from the reactions of our actions. Gata sangasya muktasya jnana vastita chetasaha yajñaya charatah karma samagram praviliyate. Samagram karma praviliyate. All actions cease to bind us. When does that happen? Gata sangasya muktasya. Sangha means attachment. This we have seen before. Attachment to work. This is my work, this is not my work. That is attachment. Muktasya, free from this attachment. Gata sangasya muktasya, devoid of attachment, liberated, with mind centered in knowledge. Jnana vastita chetasaha. Jnana here means knowledge of the self. But before we achieve knowledge of the self, we have to have the right attitude towards work. I am doing this work to the best of my ability under the circumstances. Whatever result comes, may the result benefit everybody and everything. In that, those who benefit, I will also be included, but I am not doing it primarily for myself, giving up selfishness and attachment to work. That is knowledge. And remaining equanimous in success and failure. That is also part of that. Yajñaya acharataha karma. Yajñaya means for the sake of yajña. Yajña means sacrifice. Sacrifice means unselfish action. Again, the same idea of unselfishness comes in different ways. Karma yajñaya acharataha, for the sake of yajña, performing all action. Not for me, but for the whole world, for the whole of nature. If not for the, I cannot always do something that affects the whole world, because we are small people, we can only do work which affects a small number of people. Then that's okay, as long as it is not confined to my own selfish benefit. Even if it helps four other people, even in the same family, if it helps other people, that is a little bit better. This is what our rishis have said. Udara charitanam tu vasudhaiva kutumbakam. Vasudha eva. Vasudha means the whole earth. Udara charita means a person with a large heart. For to a large-hearted person, not to a narrow-minded person, large-hearted person, the whole world is his family. Everybody is his brother, sister, everybody is his child, everybody is his parent, everybody is his mother, everybody is his father. Same love towards all, not only human beings, are extending the same love and concern to animals and plants and trees and inanimate objects. Where does the eye end? There is no boundary for the eye. Whole universe is included. Such a person, in the limiting case, becomes one with. Whole universe is God, becomes one with. That is why Swami Vivekananda wrote a very powerful sentence, worth reflecting again and again. In Karma Yoga, he says, unselfishness is God. You could not be put in simpler terms. But there's a lot to ponder, a lot to think about in that one short sentence. That is the message of Sri Krishna in the Gita also. He doesn't use the word unselfishness, but he says practice equanimity, love towards all the people. 23 we did. Gata sangasya muktasya jnana vastita chetasaha yajñaya charata karma. Why all this came? Because all actions we do should be done as yajna, as sacrifice, as an unselfish action that benefits all the beings and everything in creation. Tasya samagram karma praviliyate. For such a person, there is no binding in any action that he does. Desires don't binding, impressions don't fall. That person paves the way for liberation. The most my most favorite verse in this whole chapter is the next verse. Because most of the time it immediately produces the result. When you chant the next verse, close your eyes and chant the verse, 24th verse, open your eyes, food is in front of you. God in concrete form is food. I'm not making it up, that is the Upanishad. Annam brahmeti yajanat, Dirshi has said. Anna is nothing but Brahman in concrete form. Annam is food. Bread. So let us do 24.
Brahmarpanam Brahmahavihi
Brahmagnau Brahmanahutam
Brahmagnau Brahmanahutam
Brahmaiva tena gantavyam
Brahmaiva tena gantavyam
Brahma karma samadhina
Brahma karma samadhina.
In any action, there are three major components. The major components are the actor, the kartra, the person or agent for action. There is an agent through whom the action takes place. Kartra, we call it karta or kartra. That is one necessary component. Without, if there is no doer, there is no action. The second is, usually there is a product that is karya. And the third component is, there is some transfer of energy. That is karma. Some transformation happens. Even when we think, without any physical action taking place, I'm closing my eyes, I'm declaring in my sofa, I'm thinking about some mathematical problem or what's going to happen tomorrow. I'm thinking something. Then I'm doing action mentally. Then the action is the mental energy expended. So biochemical changes happen in the brain. Thoughts will change in the brain. All that is karma. Now there is also two other factors usually. Karanam means instrument. Some instrument is used. In thinking, brain is the instrument. And in physical activity, there is some other instrument. You can use the pen for writing, computer for doing some work, or you can use the paper, that is also material instrument that you use, or any other instrument, a screwdriver or any other instrument, telescope or whatever. That is instrument, that is karanam. Karanam japatat vidam. Then there is the result of all this action, karya. Karya also means result. Karya also means action to be done. The result of action. So see how many factors already there. Now the gist of this 24th verse is that all these 3, 4, 5 factors that are involved in any action, these are all different manifestations of the same divine energy. The same divinity appears as the actor, the person performing the action. Animals also can be actors. When a tiger eats some meat, then it is performing action, then the tiger is also the actor. Or when cow eats grass, then cow is also the actor, performs action of eating. Like that. So there is the performer is who is the tiger, who is the cow, who is the person doing any action. Nothing but God himself is present in all those people, in all those beings also. So that is one aspect of the divine, the doer. Then the instrument used is also an aspect of the divine, because God is omnipresent. If you use, in doing yajna, you use a ladle or a wooden spoon to pour the ghee into the fire, that is also the aspect of the divine. Whatever you use in doing an action, that is also an aspect of the divine. Then the product is also the divine. Then the material used is also the divine. In this way, if we keep that everything is just another manifestation of the divine in any action that we do from morning till evening, then all actions are accompanied by thought of the divine, Brahma karma samadhina. Such a person eventually reaches the divine. Brahmaiva tena gantavyam Brahma karma samadhina. Here he mentions 2 or 3 only. Brahmarpanam. Arpanam means the process of offering anything, doing it, the process of doing some work. That is Brahman. Where does the energy come from? From the presence of God within us. If the presence is withdrawn, body is there, hardware is there, but no action can take place. Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavihi. The material is havis means the clarified butter that we pour into the fire when we set up a home of fire, or any material that we use in action. Supposing when we eat, havis is the food that we put into the mouth. That is the havis. Brahmahavihi, Brahmagnav. Brahmagnav, Agni means recipient of the action, the platform where action is happening. Supposing I eat, then which is the Agni? Chapter 15, Sri Krishna says, eating is yajna. Because all actions are worship, my most favorite form of worship is eating. So Sri Krishna said eating is worship. Yat karoshi adashnasi. Whatever you eat, he says, so I am eating more often so that I can do more worship. More number of times. So, Agni, the recipient, Vaishwanar, Aham Vaishwanaro Bhutva, Praninam Dehamashritaha, Pranapana Samayuktaha, Vachamyannam Chaturvidham. There Sri Krishna has clearly said that even the action of eating has to be done as worship, because all the food that we put into the mouth reaches the Vaishwanara Agni present within us is nothing but aspect of God. As Vaishwanara Agni, he digests the food that we eat. We eat a nice meal at night, we go to a party, Deepavali party, somebody's house or in the temple, lot of sweets are served, we eat, then we go home, watch some TV and go to bed. His work begins when we finish our work. As soon as they finish eating, then he starts his work, digesting the food. All night I'm sleeping, he is digesting, working on night shift. So when my work ends, his work begins. Vaishwanara gets very busy. All night he works very hard to digest. Morning food is digested, ready for breakfast again. Brahmagnav, Brahmana Hutam. By whom this offering is made? By Brahman. The person who makes this offering is also Brahman. If you serve a cup of tea or a meal, or give a piece of bread to a dog, or a dog food to a dog or a cat, you give some milk. To whom are you giving that? To that animal or person? Who is that animal or person? Sri Krishna said, in all the bodies I alone am present. Kshetrajñam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharatadi. The Lord alone is present in all the bodies. 13th chapter, 2nd verse. He alone is present in all the bodies, regardless of the type of body, not only human body, animal body, plant body, inanimate object. He is present. Therefore, even if we offer some peanut to the monkey, you are offering it to God. If you go to the zoo, you go to the monkey department, there are some peanut packets, you can put it, then the monkey enjoys eating the peanuts that you give, or banana that you give. Banana, monkeys like bananas. Then who is giving what to whom? Only Brahman is doing all these things, playing different roles. There is but one, the free, the know ourselves, without a name, without a form or stain. In him is Maya dreaming all this dream. The witness appears as nature, soul. No, thou art that sannyasin Om, say Om. There is only one Brahman. He plays the part of the actor, plays the part of the recipient, he plays the part of the instrument, plays the part of the material. Nature, soul, God, these three things are nothing but one, Brahman. Just like Manav acting, you might have seen some Manav acting. There is only one person. 3 or 4 characters he is playing. He stands in this part of the stage, he plays the part of one, he says some lines of one character, then he goes to this side of says the lines of another character. Whole drama is played by one person only. Manav acting. Brahman is the most efficient Manav actor. Playing the roles of all these, they are all characters played by Brahman. He alone is playing all these characters. Swami, Householder, Vijaya, Shankar, Veer Balaji, everybody's role, all roles played by Brahman alone. So whatever you do, good or bad, somebody you are doing unto whom? Unto him. That is the basis for all our moral rules. Don't cheat, don't lie, don't steal, because he alone is there. If I lie to you, to whom am I lying? If I cheat you, to whom am I cheating? If I steal from you, from whom am I stealing? Yeah. Therefore, we should not do that. Brahmaiva tena gantavyam. What is the result of this kind of contemplation? Tena brahmaiva gantavyam. By seeing Brahman in action, he reaches Brahman alone. By thinking like this, all action has to be done as worship of God. Then our mind becomes more and more purified. Selfishness goes away, and we approach God to the end. Brahma karma samadhina. One who contemplates in this way on all actions as Brahman. 34th verse. This is a slightly different topic in the same chapter.
Tadviddhi pranipatena
Pariprashnena sevaya
Pariprashnena sevaya
Upadekshanti te jnanam
Upadeshanti te jnanam
Jnaninastatvadarshinaha.
Jnaninastatvadarshinaha.
When we see a wise person, a great soul in Mahatma, a saint, or even somebody who knows more, who is wiser person, more experienced, whose insight can be beneficial to us, then we have to prepare ourselves to receive that knowledge from such a person by doing three things. Three things to be done when you see a great person, great soul. Those are listed here. Tad vidhi. Tat means in Vedanta that. That means the supreme reality. This is only a preposition. That means that, supreme reality. Vidhi. Vidhi means what?
Knowing.
No. Is instruction. You know, samajho in Hindi. You know that. How do I know that what I should do? First thing, pranipatena, by bowing down, by doing prostration, full prostration. Pranipat. What does prostration signify? Prostration, when you do prostration to somebody or in front of the deity, it signifies your devotion, your humility. That you are humble to, and that humility is a required qualification to receive knowledge. Otherwise, if there is too much pride and arrogance, those will be obstructions to receive the knowledge. Humility is necessary. Pranipatena pariprashnena. Pariprashna means the spirit of inquiry into the nature of truth. We want to have this urge to know the truth. Pariprashna does not mean cross-examining or just asking some question to show off how much the person knows. That is not. Pariprashna means with a genuine spirit of inquiry. I want to know the truth. That's spirit of inquiry. The urge to know the truth. Pariprashnena sevaya. Seva means some service to that person. Personal service has to be rendered as an expression of love, not necessarily to meet their needs. If I don't bring a cup of tea to somebody else will bring, or that person himself can provide. But I consider this my honor and privilege to provide a cup of tea because I am expressing my love and I benefit thereby. Thereby I am the principal beneficiary if I do something for somebody. Not that person. That person's work will be done anyhow with or without me. But I get the opportunity, chance to spiritually enrich myself by doing that little humble service. So I should welcome all such opportunities to do a little bit of service to others. Pariprashnena sevaya te jnaninaha tattvadarshinaha jnanam upadekshanti. You can rearrange the words. Te jnaninaha, those jnanis, knowledgeable people, wise people. Tattvadarshinaha, those who know the truth about the ultimate reality. Te jnaninaha tattvadarshinaha jnanam upadekshanti. They will teach you this knowledge of the self. Any knowledge also, same principle. When you go to class in the university or college or school, you have to have the same qualities of humility, readiness to inquire into the truth, and readiness to be humble and serve. 38. हि ज्ञानेन सदृशम्
नहि ज्ञानेन सदृशम्
पवित्रमिह विद्यते
पवित्रमिह विद्यते
तत्स्वयं योगसंसिद्धः
तत्स्वयं योगसंसिद्धः
कालेनात्मनि विन्दति
कालेनात्मनि विन्दति
Iha, pavitram iha, the word iha is there. Iha means here. Here means in this life. In this life, in this world, jnanena sadrisham pavitram anyam navidyate. There is nothing in this world that has the power to purify our minds as knowledge. Knowledge is the best detergent available in this world to purify the mind. All the impurities in our mind like kama, krodha, desire, anger, jealousy, pride, fear, etc., they will gradually disappear when knowledge is brought in. Knowledge is like light. Jnana jyoti, light. When light comes, darkness quickly leaves, immediately leaves. So knowledge is the greatest purifier. Once the purification of the mind happens, then knowledge of the self is self-evident, becomes self-evident. Next one. Shraddhavan labate jnanam.
Shraddhavan labate jnanam.
Tatparas samyatendriyaha.
Tatparas samyatendriyaha.
Jnanam labdhva param shantim.
Jnanam labdhva param shantim.
Achirena digacchati.
Achirena digacchati.
An important concept is introduced here, Shraddha. And in a later chapter, the whole chapter deals with Shraddha. Which chapter is that? 17th chapter is called what? Shraddha Traya Vibhaga Yogaha. Three kinds of Shraddha. Sattvic Shraddha, Rajasic Shraddha, Tamasic Shraddha. The whole chapter of 17th chapter deals with Shraddha. The 17th chapter Shraddha is properly defined. Here it is mentioned as important. Here you go to chapter 17. 17th chapter, 3rd verse. Definition of Shraddha. There is another definition which I will give from Viveksudami. Sattva-nurupa sarvasya Shraddha bhavati bharata. Sattva means a person's inner stuff, the stuff of which we are made, not just the body and the mind, but the deeper innermost convictions which defines our personality. What is that defined by? That is defined by the Shraddha that we have. More detailed explanations will come later, but what a person essentially is a function of his Shraddha. According to our Shraddha, we act. I go to temple because I have Shraddha, conviction that if I go to temple, something will happen to me. I go to school and study in college and high school and college and graduate subsequent studies because I have Shraddha in education. My conviction is that if I get education, that will help me to lead a better life. I make money because I have Shraddha that if I have enough money to provide for the necessities of my family, then life will be happier and smoother. Otherwise, I'll always become indigent. The Shraddha is there. It is Shraddha that defines our personality. Sattva rupa sarvasya Shraddha bhavati bharata. Shraddha drives our life. Our life is driven by the Shraddha that we have in our hearts. Now, the Shraddha is a changeable entity. That's the best news we can get. If our Shraddha is not pure or strong enough, we can make it pure and strong by certain change in our attitudes and actions. That will also come later. Now let us look at another definition of Shraddha from Viveksudami. Shastasya Guruvakyasya Satya Buddhyavadharana Sa Shraddha Katitha Hyartha yaya vastu palabhyate sa sraddha khajita sadvihi yaya vastu palabhyate. What is Shraddha? Shraddha is that innermost stuff in our convictions, in our minds, what defines our values and drives our life, that eventually helps us to reach the highest goal. Vastu palabhyate. Vastu means ultimate reality. Upalabhyate. If our Shraddha is purified and strengthened, that will take us all the way to the highest goal. So therefore we must work on our Shraddha. How does it start? Where does Shraddha start? Shastrasya guruvakyasya satya buddhyavadharanam. Shastra started. Shastra means scriptures. Scriptures means Upanishads. Upanishads have the ultimate truth that you are Brahman, this individual Atman is nothing but Brahman, and this personality has three parts, all these things. That's all what the Upanishads teach, the nature of Brahman. We have to have certain conviction that represents the truth. Shastra, Satya Buddhi. Guru Vakyas. Guru is a person who has experienced the truth of the Shastras. Anybody who can teach Shastra need not be could not be a Guru, cannot be a Guru. A Guru is one who has actually followed the injunctions of the Shastras and has experienced the truth of the Shastras. Such a person speaks from experience. This I have gone along this path, I have reached the result, you can also reach the result if you go along this path. That is that kind of conviction in the truth of those two things, in the words of the scriptures, in the words of the teachers, that helps in shaping our Shraddha. Shastrasya guruvakyasya satya buddhyavadharanam sa shraddha khajita sadvihi yaya vastu palabhyate. So we'll continue this. So 42nd verse we have to do. Shraddhavan labate jnanam tatparasya Tasmadajnanasambhutam Hristam jnanasinatmanaha Chitvainam samshayam yogam Atishthotishta bharata. The fourth, Ajnana sambhutam hristam samshayam chitva. The subject is samshaya, the doubt whether all this is true or simply some story that somebody made up. That doubt, hristam, it is in our minds. That doubt always remains. When does the doubt completely go away? Only when we realize God. The Mundaka Upanishad says that only upon ultimate realization, three things happen. Vidyate hridaya kranti. All the weaknesses of the heart will completely go away, impurities will go away. Chidyante sarva samshaya. All the doubts will completely 100% disappear. Kshiyante chasya karmani. All the karmas and karma phala will free us, no bondage. Then tasmin drishte paravare, when the ultimate reality is known or seen. Until then, samshaya will be there. That samshaya, what is the solution to become free from the samshaya, from the doubt? Knowledge is the antidote to the samshaya. Jnanasina, by the sword of knowledge. Chitva, cutting asunder. Samshayam, that doubt which is present in our heart. Hristam. Yogamatishta, take rewards to yoga. Yoga means some path to the realization. It can be karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga, kriya yoga, whatever it is, your choice. Yogamatishta, take recourse, means practice some yoga diligently. Path of devotion, path of action, whatever is suitable to you. Yogamatishta, uttishta, become diligent, stand up. If you simply talk about sit down and do nothing, nothing will happen. What produces the result is what we do, not what we believe in, and not what we think. Uttishta means stand up, taught, become diligent, do the practice. So we'll conclude the 4th chapter here.